Hi everyone, welcome to Newcastle. So I'm just going to wait and see if some people get on first before I start talking too much, but we're standing overlooking the Tasman Sea or the Pacific Ocean, and it's a wild old surf out there this morning. Got some big waves coming up. Hi, someone's just joined. Hang on. Didn't want to do that. I'm trying to zoom in on this surf. Hi Suzanne, welcome. Yeah, pretty wild old surf out here this morning. So I can see that we've got 4 people on. We're looking over here. We're standing on Flagstaff Hill at Newcastle and looking over towards the Newcastle Ocean Baths. Hi Judith, welcome. And these baths are currently closed. They've been closed for about a year now. They're undergoing renovation, but you can see the beautiful 1930s era, I think it is, entrance at the front of the Newcastle Baths over there. And yeah, thanks Judith. And we can engage this time. Hi Mona. So that's the entrance to the Ocean Baths, Newcastle Ocean Baths, but they're closed currently for renovations. I think they're reopening in September this year. And then over here we've got a wild old surf, pretty wild sea happening today. There's 3 very brave surfers out here. Just over here on my left. You might not be able to see them. They're just dots in the ocean. Hi Michelle, welcome. So I'm going to zoom out again if I could do it. Hi Sarah. Pinching the screen. A little bit awkward. Hang on, we'll get there. Hi Lynn, welcome. It's so very blue. Hi Emily. All right, so we're standing on Flagstaff Hill, which is where Fort Scratchley is. That over there is the Newcastle Baths. And in behind me we have Fort Scratchley, and we've got, oh no, stay as long as you can or as little as you can. That's fine Michelle. Hi Emily. So here we have Flagstaff Hill and Fort Scratchley in behind us. We're going to go in there in a moment. Before I do, I just want to orientate you with a little of what's happening up here and in the Newcastle area. So Flagstaff Hill and Newcastle, the city of Newcastle, have started to acknowledge the traditional names for some of the locations in the Newcastle area. So the traditional name for Flagstaff Hill is Talbin, and what we're looking at over here on our left out beyond Fort Scratchley, actually we probably can't see it from here, we'll see it from further round on the fort, but Nobbys Head is called Wibeganya, and that's the one up there, number 1 on the map, which is out there. All right, so let me turn the camera around and introduce myself to anyone who hasn't met me before. My name's Lynn, and we're here in Newcastle at Fort Scratchley. We're going to go in and see the Sculpture at Scratchley exhibition, which is a free exhibition, which is very nice, and it's also, I think, the first time it's ever been held, which is very exciting for Newcastle as well. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that we're meeting today on the traditional lands of the and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. Hi Natalie, thanks for joining. And if there's anyone that I missed, because I can only see one line at a time on the screen, welcome also. And it's only because it's actually difficult to see the screen with the sun shining on it and only one line of chat at a time. But here we are up on Flagstaff Hill, or Talbin, and here's the city of Newcastle over here that we're looking down upon right now. So we'll go into the fort and start having a look around. Entrance to the fort today is free, or during the period of the hi Claire, welcome. Oh, I can see you doing that thing with your keyboard again. So here we are. Fort Scratchley was built in 1882 to defend this once British colony from Russian invasion, apparently, because the Brits or England had tension with Russia back then. So they were protecting their colony. First of all, we cross a dry moat to enter the fort. So this is a dry moat here. There we go. And the continuation of the dry moat on this side. Good morning.
Good morning, dear. Oh, okay.
All right, so let's start with the small sculptures at the entrance here. And we won't go into every room unless we get time at the end. We'll go around to the sculptures first of all. So this one here, I know we've got some fans for this type of thing. So this is made from reclaimed materials, and this is called Turbo. There we go. And the artist for this one is Jeff Harvey, and he's also done this group of 3 musicians here as well. All right. In the middle of the courtyard, this one's sold. Also been manufactured from reclaimed materials, I think. By the looks of it, looks like a pair of pliers or something at the front forming its beak. So we have this parakeet. The artist's name is John Logvin, and it says recycling is underlying ethic in John's work. He says, I love creating something extraordinary out of the ordinary, and it's called hanging around. So that one there, I'll just wait for these people to move so that we have an uncluttered background. Are you all right? There we go. And then over here, this one I really like. Hi Fliss, we're at Fort Scratchley, your old stomping ground. Okay, so we can see that we've got not only the tree above ground but the roots below ground, and it's made from I think some kind of wire. Don't want to touch it. You can just see how it's been a lot of work gone into that one. So this one, the artist is Ulan and Rachel, and it's called Juno. Pays homage to the antiquity of our landscape. It reflects the theme of protection and the cyclic nature of growth and decay. So we can see there below ground level we have the tangled roots. Hi Tariq, welcome. And if I move back, we get to see the whole piece. The tree above and the roots below. All right, so just looking back behind me before we continue on, there's the actual hill of Flagstaff Hill. And the rooms are open to go into, to enter. Let me see, shall I go inside? Let's go inside this room and just have a little look. The military police, the old guardhouse. So this is normally would involve an entrance fee to come in and have a look at the old exhibition. So this is the guardhouse, and we've got a very small bed in here. They must have been shorter in those days. So I'll tell you a little bit more about Fort Scratchley as we move around. This is the signals room. Over on my right is the canteen. I think it underwent some renovations in the late 1990s, Fliss, and I'm pretty sure it was added to the Heritage Register in the early 2000s. But I confess I didn't get a chance to reacquaint myself with all the facts this morning before I came here. So this one's called The Cloisters. Artist's name is Christine Simpson, and it says, arrived after my first experience utilising the arc welder, positive and negative shapes. So this would have been the canteen back in the day. We're not permitted in this room. Oh, we've got a school excursion. All right, so we're going to have to. I think I might jump ahead of them. They're going into this. They're going into the barracks, so we'll scoot ahead of them. Oh, let's have a look at this one first. Again, an object made out of upcycled materials. Whoops. Look, away from the kidlets. Sorry, guys. They don't look where they're going. And then this one here is another Jeff Harvey. So he's done a series of them, and it's called Elvis. Hi, Neil. Welcome. Yes, your typing is working. Here we go. Oh, you had to refresh. Oh, I wonder why that would have been. All right, so this one here is, the artist is Peter Lewis. Hi, Haywood, welcome. And it's called Sweet. It's just made from ceramics. He says, when I opened the kiln door and saw the successful firing of my sculpture, I just whispered the word sweet. Well, it's as good as a reason as any to name an object, isn't it? Or an art piece. Very interesting shape, very cool, I like it. And over beside it is another of his. This one's called Destiny. And he says, in this work I have attempted to show the lines of force within the sphere of one's life that ultimately leads you to your destiny. Here we go. All right, so let's scoot your head away from the children. We have a giraffe over here. Just tucked away in the corner, the giraffe. It doesn't have pride of place really, this one, does it? And its little name tag has been turned over as well, so let's fix that. So this is another Jeff Harvey, so he's got a whole series here. Neil, good question. I've done more on Facebook than I have on YouTube. These guys look like a couple of baboons. At the moment I'm preferring Facebook, but I think it's just because I've used it more. I'm going to have to try and use YouTube a little bit more and try and give it a fair chance. I'm not sure it's the answer. The jury's still out. Let's have a look at the ferry over there that's coming across. It's the Stockton Ferry. And that goes across between Newcastle City and Stockton, which is just over there on my right. So that's Stockton over there. Isn't this a great location? The wind is up at the moment, so let me know if it's affecting the sound. And here we go with these, what do you think they are? Are they baboons? I think so. Oh, where's the tag? Ah, yes, here we go. It's another Jeff Harvey, so he's got a whole bunch. He's got a whole bunch in this exhibition. young baboon, and I guess that's mum. Father. I don't know how you tell the difference. Oh, yes, I do. There we go. So, young baboon and father baboon. You can hear the wind. Is it affecting things adversely, Emily, or is it just present? All right, so this one to me looks like a hippopotamus. It's called Hip Hip Hooray. And it says it's by the event organizer. That's interesting, isn't it? And from this position here, we get to look back through the corridor out to the courtyard that we entered through. As long as you keep your back to it. Okay, thanks, Emily. I'll keep that very much in mind. All right, so we've got a kangaroo. I'm guessing this is going to be John Harvey's again. Looks like it's got a bicycle seat for the head. It's quite cool, isn't it? Look at that. Jeff Harvey, yep. There we go. Kangaroo. All right. So I'm going to go back this way and then we'll go up to the hill itself. This is just a little bit of history here about the Memorial Library, which I won't go into. You're welcome to take a screenshot of that if you'd like to know more. So it's just giving you a timeline of Lieutenant Colonel Mort and the Memorial Library. Okay, so let's go back out this way. Once again, we need to jump ahead of these children. So as I said, the fort was built in 1882. The cannons, there are 4 cannons here. I think 2 of them were fired in a wartime capacity, and that was in 1942 against the Japanese subs that came and fired on Newcastle. And the wind's coming towards me now, so let me just turn my back on it, as Emily suggested. Up on the hillside here we have a big fly. Hi Sharon. Let's try and frame that a little better. Look at that gorgeous sky, isn't that beautiful? So we're going to get up onto this hillside, so we'll be able to get a different aspect of these 2 sculptures from up there. And around here we have the artillery store and tunnels. Hello. I might go a little way into the tunnel, but I'm a little bit worried about losing my signal in here, so we won't go too far. Oh, the gun is actually going to be fired today at 1 o'clock. And this is what the layout of the fort is.
That's true. And also the 2 and little dress.
All right, so I'm not sure if I can go in here. It says something about tour patrons. Let me know if the signal is affected. I'm not going to go too far in because I'd be a little bit worried about the signal. But here, let me just have a quick look. Whoops. There. Yeah, we're not going to go down there. I have no confidence in holding the signal if we go down there. There's some exhibition cases with weapons in them. So, as I said, I'm a little bit worried about my signal. Alright, so there's some descriptions about some of the aspects of the fort. This one here talks about the coal bunker. So here we have the actual coal bunker here. And of course Newcastle was begun on coal. The reason that Newcastle exists is because coal was found here. Hi Kimberly. And one of the first places that it was found was this very hill. Alright, so this one here, I think we can all guess what this is. Let me see if I can line him up in a really good position for you. I'm bending down as low as my knees will allow me to. He's pretty cool, isn't he? Look at him. Look at that face. So let me see if I can find who the artist is for this one. Nicole O'Regan. And it says, Nicole created the body of this sculpture by cutting various lengths of round bar, grinding each rod into a point, then bending the rod into assorted curves. The head and legs are being created by welding pieces of flat and round bar, then slowly grinding them down to finally build the form. And the emu is an iconic bird endemic only to Australia. It forms part of the coat of arms, as we all know. It's a pretty impressive piece. I like the feet on it. I've been reading about people complaining about the statues. They need to get over themselves. And it is an emu in this US. They call it an emu. I know. We have to keep correcting them, don't we, Fliss? It's not an emu, it's an emu. This room here refers to... You've never heard emu? Yeah, apparently in the United States, I've heard it said a lot. In fact, there was a news item about how an emu went on the loose. I think it was down Fliss's way in Florida or one of those southern states. And I said to my husband, what did they call it? Yes, we have to educate people on how it's pronounced. So this is the laundry room. You can see the big, what's that thing called that you squeeze? The wringer, the big wringer there, and the washboard and the old concrete wash tubs here, and then the bench on the side. Look at that old iron. Am I allowed in here? Look at that. Imagine using that. Hi Tracy. All right. So yeah, back to the emu. Looking at his tail feathers. I'm just trying to figure out which way to go before we'll go this way first. So it says the display rooms are open. Let's have a look. Room 4. Room 1, the early years. I'm not going to spend any time in here, but you just get an idea. There's like a screen door here. You get an idea that you can go through and learn about the history of Fort Scratchley. There's quite detailed information in all these rooms here. Room 2, a sentinel is born, 1882 to 1913. Again, lots of cases, information on the walls over here. So room 3. The fort was upgraded during World War One, and then it was upgraded again during World War Two, and that's the only time the cannons were fired in anger, or in conflict rather, and that's when the Japanese fired on Newcastle. And then what have we got in this room here? Let's have a look. I think this was when after World War II, it really just carried on in more of a ceremonial sense. There wasn't really much of a role to play after World War II, I don't believe. It just says the fort carries on through till 1972. You have an old iron like that, do you, Neil? Do you still use it? All right, so this here is called Liquid and Skin, and it's a piece of timber. I want to call it burl. It's been scorched and formed to look like a dress, I guess, or like a dress form. Hi, Bronwyn. So when we were here the other day, when we came up here and I cancelled the tour, the rain was blowing sideways, and I'm certain it had ice in it. And this one here is quite difficult to photograph, although the shadow it forms on the wall is quite interesting right at the moment. And this one, the artist's name is Britt Jovanovski. Was that the same one as the timber I just showed you? She's from Chichester in New South Wales. I think it's the same artist. Here I am not paying attention, showing you guys and not paying attention myself. Yeah, same artist. So one's been worked in timber or wood. If we have a look at the back of it, you can see that it's been scorched on the inside. Oops, sorry. And around the edges. Neil, this exhibition is only open for 2 weeks, so obviously it's getting a lot more attention than it normally would. The rest of the time, people would come for the history. But this is a pretty big event. Very new, first time for Newcastle, and it's pretty exciting. It's a great way to get people interested in Fort Scratchley, because it just sort of sits up here on the hill, and I guess a lot of people take it for granted. Sharon, thank you. Thank you, that's lovely. Thank you for that. Look at this. This makes a great shot, doesn't it, against that beautiful blue sky. Beautiful. Okay, then over here, I know that this artist has something like 3 exhibits here. You've got to stop and look at the view, don't you? Look at that. We'll get to you in a moment, mate. Coming back. But over here, look at this. The Hunter River is just looking beautiful today. Everything's sparkling. And this one here, John Lynch. This one's called Warrior. Hand-carved sandstone. And this is him here. Up against the Commandant's cottage. And if I just turn slightly to the left, we might be able to get the 2 chimneys in view. The top of the roof lines here. There we go, look at that. You love the frog, yeah. And I'm not sure what's on top of the frog. Is it a snake? All right, so there's another piece inside here and one up the top of the hill there. So let me get you the one on top of the hill first. And we'll go up and have a look at it in a moment. Hi, Lynn. Just trying to get that flagpole out of the way. There we go. That's pretty cool. Look at that.
Yeah, we can. How about that?
And then in here, it's quite a low tunnel. Look at this. We've got the big cannon and we've got this dog. Adam Thusket. It's called Scrap Dog. Hello, dog. Scrap Dog. Neil, Newcastle is about an hour and a half to 2 hours north of Sydney. I forget the actual distance. I think it's about 160 kilometres to the north of Sydney. It took us, I'm just going to look at this bird. Let me see if we can get a little closer to him. It took us an hour and a quarter to get here from Brooklyn, which is on the northern limits of Sydney on the Hawkesbury River. So it took us about an hour and a quarter to get here from there this morning. I'm not sure what this guy is. He's a butcher bird maybe. Yeah, I want to zoom in on him, but I keep getting stuck when I zoom in. Where the bad convicts were sent. Well, when you say am I done in Sydney, I still get down there from time to time to feature certain things. I was down there the other day for one of the light events. That was in the evening. I just want to show you the glistening on the ocean at the moment. And we're still living, albeit on the very northern perimeter of Sydney, but quite close to a train station. It takes me about an hour to get into the city. So I'm still trying to get there as often as I can, but it's amounting to about once a week or so at the moment. So this over here is Nobbys Head. And then down the bottom of this very steep grass slope, there's 3 more sculptures down there, two shells and a clownfish, I think, by the looks of it. And a very wild sea. Look at that. Oh no, we've still got 2 more months, Emily. So I'll come down here a little way, but I'll never get back up again if I go all the way down. It's quite steep. We still have 2 more months. End of July, we are house sitting in Brooklyn until, and then, oh look, I can do this. It's not that bad. And then we've got another house sit lined up in Nelson Bay, which is, Nelson Bay is just over there, about 45 minutes away. So if anyone actually saw any of Whiskey's tours when he was still doing tours with Hago, he is located in Nelson Bay. Actually, I'm glad I came down here. Look at this. It's a mosaic fish. It's really pretty, isn't it? And then up above us, we're going to get to him properly in a moment, but there's our whale. So this is gorgeous. Mosaic fish. Oh, these are beautiful. I'm glad I came down here. Mosaic shell. Beautiful. I love the tiles that they've used. Really gorgeous. this is going to be tricky because of the different contrasting light. Let me see if I can get Nobbys' head in the background there. There we go. Beautiful. And then the fish. Here's the fish looking out towards Stockton. And there's a third shell. So these are called, that's Christopher Diaz is the artist. He's a local, he's from North Gosford, well, not too far away. Marmoris, the giant conch shell. And then this one, all in pink. I've got to go and have another look at that. There's shells from this side. Look at those, aren't they beautiful? They're gorgeous. Nobbys Head, is that what you're referring to, Neil? Well, it was an island. So originally when it was first discovered by the colonisers back in 1789, I believe, it was an island. Then a breakwater was built. At first it was a pier, so there was a pier built where you can see the breakwater there, the wall. A pier was built first, and then it was turned into a breakwater, and then the sand has built up against it. So it's actually it's not man-made. It's naturally formed spit with the sand build-up, but it's been caused by the actions of man, if that makes sense. And then the head, well, headland, head. All right, let's go and have a look at the shells again on our way back. We'll climb back up that way. There's the pink one with the whale in the background. But look at this, look at this. I would have missed the star, would have missed the starfish. Oh, okay. Yeah, we use it a fair bit here. North Head, South Head are both at the entrance to Sydney Harbour. Hi, Lisa. Let's get the whale in. I'm sorry the sign's in, but can't do much about that. And then getting nice and close on the fish. And I reckon that probably goes to, well, they look like the tips of guns, don't they? In through there. There's two of them. There's one on the other side of this little, what's now a garden as well. So this is a koi carp, the fish. And the artist's concept and inspiration for this project stems from the cultural significance behind the meaning of the koi fish. In the Japanese language, the word koi also means affection or love. And the koi fish is a symbol of love and friendship. Oh, it's getting warm when you're out of the wind. Undo my jacket. Okay. All right, two of you please, in behind me. Push me up this hill. Hi, Carol. Yeah, I didn't go down and look at those shells and fish the other day because it was just too windy. I couldn't do it. All right. And this one still hasn't turned up. Did anyone see the Facebook post I made that had the sign on it that said, "Sorry, held up in customs"? Well, this is it. That's what it's meant to look like, and it hasn't turned up yet. Poor guy. Oh dear. It's beautiful. What a shame. It's called Witch. We don't get to see it. And I can't imagine where it's coming from because he's a Sydney artist, graduate of several art institutions in Poland. All right, so he must have created this project in Poland, I'm guessing, but it hasn't turned up yet. Hi Claire. Hold on, I'm missing a comment. Didn't realise the hill was so steep. Yes. Yeah, I'm feeling it still. Got a pelican here. You just wait for there we go. There's the pelican. And I'm not sure what this is referring to. It says Ray. Artist changed his mind. Ray is for sale. Ray must be the pelican. This piece, a pelican, is called Ray, which is my dad's name. Dad has been known to my friends for many years as the pelican. Oh, okay. So it's got really sort of sentimental meaning to the artist. And it says here, the artist has changed his mind. Ray is for sale. And it's sold. So that's the pelican. Pelican called Ray. Neil says, North Carolina. You speaking to Emily, that's fine. Okay, let's go up and see the whale. Look at this. What a perfect location for it, huh? We're going to walk around it and have a look at it from all different angles. This one here is pretty one to start with. We're right above one of the guns. I'm not sure which is the one that gets fired. Can't imagine it's this one. And we didn't go across and have a look at the birds. I think we got the best angle when we were actually looking up towards them. But there's those birds again over there. All right. Okay, so this also forms part of this piece, but I'm not sure what this bit is. So I'm after you guys to help me out with what the second piece represents. And we're going to get into a spot where it's up against the sky. This has floodlights on it. You can see the floodlights down here, so it's lit up at night as well, which must look magnificent. A baby? Yeah, I wonder. A baby it is. Look, if we look at it from this angle, maybe it's a baby whale there. It's hard to tell. It's just a blob. Yeah, that's a good artist's critique, isn't it? The nose of another whale about to breach? It could be, yeah. I think you're probably right, Fliss. Okay, I'm going to get underneath it first. There we go. This is a great angle. Just watch. I'm walking backwards, so I'm watching where I walk. Have we got both fins in? I think we have. It's great, isn't it, against that sky? And then I'm going to move down and we'll have the entrance to the Hunter River. It's amazing. It's really gorgeous. I'll move back a little bit. I'm trying to get some great angles for you with some perspective in it. I think that looks great. Let's go over here and have a look at it from over here. This is going to obviously have more people in it. Yeah, wouldn't it be good to know where it's going? I wonder where it's going. Hopefully somewhere where it's still accessible to the public. Wouldn't it be great if it was going to, like, I don't know, an outdoor restaurant or something? Maybe the Hunter Valley. Let's hope it goes up to the vineyards or a beer garden in a pub or something. Now, I don't know if this is part of it, but there's a fish here. What does this say? Shark cage. Okay, take a postcard of that, and you can come back and read it later. All right, let's go over here. There's some really amazing pieces that look out overlooking the sea. We couldn't have asked for a better day today. Look at this, isn't this gorgeous? The sun absolutely glistening on the ocean. Nobbys Head over there, the lighthouse, and then here. Look at this. I'm going to try and kneel down for you. My knees aren't going to like this very much, so this is the sacrifices I do for you guys. There we go, and I want to try and line it up. And right at the moment, because of the way the sun is on the screen, I can't see any of your comments. Now I'm going to do a very inelegant attempt at getting back on my feet. Ah, dear. There we go. Don't what? Don't get down on my knees. Too late. Alright, so here's another one of their guns. There's actually two here. They have their muzzles kind of chained up with canvas on them, so I don't think they're the ones that are getting used. I don't know which gun they use. So this is this one we just looked at. I'm almost at that point myself, Neil. Grab it while you can. While I still have the ability to get down and up, albeit struggling, take advantage of it, because I won't be doing it for too much longer, I can tell you. All right, okay, so as you can see, there's about 4 or 5 pieces out here along the edge of the grass, on the edge of the hill. I'll take you down to the first one, but we won't do all of them because there's plenty more up the top here. So there's some steps that go down here, making it a little bit easier for me. If we go down here, I'll look at this one or two, and then we'll head back up because there's some beautiful pieces up the top as well. All right. So this one over here is Bridget Whitehead. It's called Gaia. The earth turns, winds blow, ocean currents connect us. And it's a bit difficult. Can they sled here? It would be a great spot grass skiing, I reckon. What do you think? Where can I get this? It's got a good angle. I think I might go around this way. Don't know. That doesn't look so great, does it? Get down here. That's better against the sky. And then I'm just keeping an eye on this amazing surf. There's 3 or 4 surfers out there, which you won't be able to see because they're just dots at the moment, but they're pretty big seas out there at the moment. All right, so this one's sold. It's called Into the Wind. Okay, I'm going to try and get it without people if I can. There we go. What does Emily say? I thought I saw them earlier, but thought I was crazy. Yeah, no, there's about... I'll see if I can zoom in. I always have trouble zooming in because I'm using the pinch and whatever method. Now, where have they gone? They were there a second ago. Oh, I can see one. Basically he's about there. I don't know if you can see him. He's paddling out. So I wonder if he'll go for this one. Don't think he'll have time to get on that one. No, he's going to go over the top. There he is. They're heading a long way out, in my opinion. Okay. Now I'm trying to pinch it back in. There we go. All right. Yeah, we have come almost all the way down to the bottom of the hill. That's okay. We can do this. We can get back up again. Right. This one here. I just like to try and get it against the sea, but it's just really difficult. The poster said 1 p.m. for the gun firing, yes, and it's only somewhere between 10 and 11 a.m. at the moment, so I don't think we'll still be here. As much as I'd like to. I've decided that it's unlikely I'll get here again for a while, so I might as well come all the way down here and have a good look at it. We've done 3 sunrises out to Nobbys Lighthouse. I don't know if any of you were on any of those tours. And then over here, this is the Newcastle Baths. All right, let's head back up. This almost looks like a hand. It's a good hill for rolling. It's a great hill for rolling. Yay! I think I got a warning just came up, so let me just plug in. Might be a second. Okay, that should be right now. Alright, just going to tackle these steps and get back up here. Who's volunteering to push? Who's pushing me up? So we need to wait our turn to get the great shot of the horse. Wait while I catch my breath. Getting my exercise for the day exactly, Emily. We're watching the waves out there. We've just got to... All right, our turn. Now I'm going to get down as low as I can and try and get this, if possible, as close as I can to the horizon. Let's see if I can do that.
See that one down there?
That's not bad, and it's about as best I can do. I can't kneel down any further. My knees are groaning.
It was definitely.
But this is made with stone. You can see it's made out of stones. I want to see that one on social media, guys. I love the way it's been made with the stones filling the musculature, is that what you would say, of the skeleton, made by wire metal. All right. Okay, let's have one last look at the whale before I move in the other direction. What a magical place. This is sensational. I don't even know. Reminds me of Warhorse. I've never seen that, but I did see photos of it, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't even know how you could have conflict and war on your mind if you were working in a place like this. No, it's not a long weekend here, Emily. It is actually, is it next weekend or the weekend after? We have which is now the King's birthday long weekend. Is it the first weekend in June or is it the second weekend in June? I can never remember. And then we've got this here, which I think is gut-wrenching, the concept behind that. Oh no, we don't have Victoria Day. We have the King's birthday, which used to be the Queen's birthday, is a long weekend. And as I said, it's either the first or the second weekend in June. I can never remember which. So I didn't even read that, did I? Let's have another look. It says following orders. Following orders is a monument to our legacy of annihilating each other in defence of territorial pissings, people control, assumed rights to domination and power pursuits. He's from the Blue Mountains. Anthony Zeri, who's Sherry. I think I recognise his name. Okay, so... Oops, hold on, sorry, I missed a comment. Jasmine asks, the shadow at the top looks like a bird flying away. Is it actually on Charles' birthday? No, Neil. No, and it wasn't on the Queen's birthday as well. It's just that it's changed from, I mean, her birthday was in April. It's just that for some reason we do it in June. I have no idea why. Hi, Jasmine. And it used to be Cracker Night. The Queen's birthday long weekend holiday used to be when we had our cracker night, our fireworks. November the 14th, what's that, Lynn? Oh, that's Charles' birthday, okay. Oh, yeah, it was fairly recent, wasn't it? I do remember he had a birthday fairly recently. Alright, what's this one? Again, trying to get it against a good background. Canada combined Elizabeth's birthday with Victoria's. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think every country's different. Look at that sea. Gosh, it's wild. Wild sea out there today. And Claire Lethargy says, my uncle was born on the same day as King Charles. Well, you'd remember your uncle's birthday then, wouldn't you? No, I'm kidding. You'd remember Charles's birthday then. Okay, I've done too many grass slopes. I'm not going to do this one. Oh no. Hang on. What's going on? Why am I not getting a charge through the battery? I charged this. It should be charged. It's got 4 lights on. It should be working. All right. Warning, guys. I don't know what's going on. I'm hoping that my battery is charging, but maybe my cable has a problem. So if we cut out, that's what's happened. We have no royalty, just the Kardashians. All right, I'm not going to go in here, but you kind of get the idea. If you go inside this little cubicle here, there is all sorts of convex panes of glass, and gives different and unusual views looking out towards the ocean by looking through those concave. I think it's concave when it's outwards from you, isn't it? Is that right? Okay, going up this way. I'm praying that my battery's being charged. All right. So this one here is called Avatar Aquatica. The turtle can live to 300 years, and over the centuries the turtle has been revered. I'm not sure I see a turtle in this. I do see a lovely piece of wood that's been beautifully polished. I'm not sure I see a turtle. Okay, over here we have an acrobat. Okay, just going to try and get him against the skyline. You can see a turtle face there, Jasmine. Isn't it interesting how sometimes something is immediately obvious to some people and other people just don't see it at all? And we're all different, I think, in what we perceive. So looking out, we're still keeping that acrobat in the frame. We're looking out in this direction. You get to see different architecture there as well. So we've got the tops of like terrace row houses over there in the middle of the picture right now. And then this building with the solar panels on the roof is Function Centre attached to Fort Scratchley.
little caboodle. Oh my god, she's
So my sister has
totally.
all over you. Sit down, drop
Yeah.
on.
All right, so that one there,
So taking a bit of this new
that one
one that's
there.
not aloof like the other one.
That's you, darling, isn't it?
Are you from Cameroon?
Neil, they used your they used your likeness without your permission. Oh, Voyage of Expectation. This work is about imagining a journey in spite of the obstacles that come between the figure's imagination of a journey and the realization of that journey. Isn't it good that we take on the obstacles for you guys? You don't have to worry about that. Like climbing up grass slopes. And then that one is...
Sorry.
That's all right.
My dog's attracted. My friend's dog's attracted to you.
It must be the colour of my pants or something. Stargazing reflects on the stillness and being of laying back on gazing at the night sky. John Lynch. Now I think he's the one that did that warrior head out of sandstone that we saw almost at the beginning. Any more here? Oh, there's one more over here that we haven't seen. I like this one. This one's quite cool. We do have to wait our turn once again. Okay, there we go. Now again, I'm going to try and get the sea through. There. There we go. And where's the information for this one? Oh, it's over there. You excel at it, being my cheerleaders, Lynn. I love it. I love all your cheerleading. Just wait for these ladies to okay. So that is Susan Dorothea White is the artist. Stretching the imagination. Oh, that's cool. This idiom is expressed through the very large hands literally stretching a face to create elongated hollows in the eye sockets and cheeks and a wide smiling mouth. Okay. I need to go back to tour description for coffee. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Neil. Don't let me stop you having a coffee though. Oh, buy me a coffee. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, buy me a coffee is, it's actually just Lynn S. Lynnes. You can't find it. It is actually in the tour description. And thank you for asking about that. It's really kind of you. All right, so there are about 6 pieces here. Some of them are going to be easier than others to actually share with you. But this one, for instance, is a bit tricky. A facelift gone wrong. This one's better if I just concentrate on the top half of it, rather than trying to get the whole thing in view. Especially with this beautiful sky right now. But that is Frederick White, Night Dance. And if you guys have got any tips on the best way that I should go about, like should I, for instance, try and find the chat before I launch a tour and put my buy me a coffee details there or in the discussion? I still don't know. Everyone looks in different places, so I'm not sure really where the best place is to share those details with you. This looks like it's a statement on coal mining to me. And Richard says he's hungry. What time is it, Richard? And have you got any lunch suggestions? Are you trying to hurry me up? The nice thing about YouTube is you can pin it. Yeah, that's true. So this is called 1 billion tonnes of coal. Coal is the reason for the settlement of Newcastle in 1804. In the last decade alone, 1 billion tonnes of coal have sailed past Fort Scratchley. And this site-specific 1 to 1 billion scale model. All right. It's 11:07, says Richard, so I've gone over time. So thank you everyone for your indulgence. I'm going to finish up with the whale one last time from a completely different angle. There we go. And I'll get to a spot where I can turn the camera around and say thank you to everyone. One last time, thank you for coming. I can't get to those birds, I thought I could. So the only place to see them was where we first saw them. So let me just get past this group of people. Lynn says, video seems better on Facebook. That's good to know as well, Lynn. Thank you. The last one I did on YouTube was a premiere, and I don't think it had fully processed up to HD before I'd had a chance to go live with it. So I think the recording on YouTube of that premiere is actually better than for those who actually viewed it on the premiere, if that helps. All right, I'm going to turn the camera around here. My hair, it looks ridiculous because I've got it tied up against the wind. All right, thank you everyone for joining me today. I hope you emu again. I can do that on the way out. And Narrabeen was lovely. Thank you. So we're going to head out and grab a bite to eat because we had a really, really early breakfast this morning. And so what am I doing tomorrow, Wednesday? I think Thursday is my next tour. Thursday I'm going to be doing another at-home tour. So try and join me for that if you can. All right, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again real soon. Let's go back past the emu. The emu. Back past the emu, which is just over here. We'll go up the steps. Oh, wouldn't you know it, there's a group of people in high vis standing around the emu. You're very welcome, Lynn. Okay, I'd say that this is a preschool excursion because we've got all the carers with them, so we'll avoid getting them on camera as much as possible. Here we go, everyone. Emu. Okay, and on that note, I'll wave you all goodbye. Sunday on the Rocky Road. Yes, you have to all join me for the Rocky Road tour on Sunday. And I can tell you we've already made a batch to try it out so that I could photograph it, and it's yum. You must come along for that one. Thanks everyone. Bye for now.